Well, hey, y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. I'm so glad that you have decided to join me today. I know my camera is acting up. I can't help that. I have been trying to figure out what's going on with my laptop. But we're going to get into the program. And first of all, I want to start with some shout outs. Thank you, Life in the Piedmont, for the shout outs. And this is a group of people that have sent shout outs out on social media or in YouTube community chats of my channel. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Ariel Viking, the WSFN channel, Jersey Love Steph, Blackberry Rock Homestead, Gail Southern Living, Simply Jan Homestead, Mona Did What, All Things Pink and Possible, Rudy Iraheta, James Pugh, Broken Hearts Ministry Gail, Carolina Country Living, and Dave Collier Camping and McKay235. So thank you. We're going to move on, and I've got some new channel friends that I want to introduce to you. And today we have God Believes in Me, Mona's Senior Moments, Lash's Journey, Sandra's Lifestyle, Duke Luke Garage, Nabel Asraf, Guitar Off the Cuff David S., Jose Meldondo 4830, QGDABA 504 _ 420, and Kim Tatum 7312. I'll try to remember to put these in the community tab for y'all in case you want to go check out those channels. Now for our channel members, Triple Threat Firearms and Defense, Regina K1, and my camera has stopped working, so I'm just going to go to the little blurby thing. Let's see, camera. If I can get it to work. Seems to be frozen up. I hope that I'm on. So let me just go over here. Can you see and hear me in the chat? So I want to say hello to Jersey Love Steph and Stephanie with WSFN by Stephanie Lynn C. So I'd like to know if you can hear me on here. Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see me moving. That's okay. We're going to go with it anyway because this stupid computer wants to act up. Starting over, channel member shout-outs. Triple Threat Firearms and Defense, Regina K1, Life with Mountain Folk, Frantic Missy Official, Odom Homestead, Globies Travels, Great Lakes Gal Diane, Teresa Jukowitz 3092, Chevy Attic 47, Heart of the Mountain, Simply Jan Homestead, Cynthia's Crafts and More, Life in the Piedmont, My Alabama Farm Life, Ariel Viking, Leonard 530, and I think I threw my card away. I had some other folks on that other card, and I should have kept the card over here. So if you come in today into the chat, I'm going to put you on my watch later list. So Jersey Loves Steph, WSFN channel. And if you would just quickly hit the thumbs up on your cell phone or your computer. and make sure that you're sharing this out so other people can find me. We have a hot topic today. I don't do these lives very often for the Homestead Happenings podcast, but I thought I would do one today, and my computer is froze up, y'all, so I'm not getting my camera to work, but we're going to go with it. Welcome in Life in the Piedmont. So I am writing down names of everybody that's coming through the chat today. I'm really, really excited to be here with you on a Wednesday morning. I decided to do this inside. I was planning on doing it outside because the farmers are out in the field today and they're kicking up the dust and planting, I think. So we want to let them do their thing and you can hear me at least. So today's episode is 37, Synthetic Everything. I'm keeping it real. Again, I'm the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan. This is Homestead Happenings. Okay, in the community tab, there is a building naming poll, and it ends this Friday at noon Central Standard Time. So please go by and vote in that poll because that is going to be the building's name for our outdoor off-grid kitchen. While I'm having fun with decorating the off-grid canning kitchen and slowly getting the garden in, we are anxiously awaiting the name of our new building, and your vote matters. Last week, we looked at the Sky Cloud seeding and the lab's synthetic meats and food sources available in our grocery stores. Today, we are taking on the silent war on our soil and how we fight back on our 1.5 acres. We're going to be talking about synthetic fertilizers, the ecosystem collapse that when you use that. So I wanted to let you know that that is the topics today. And we're going to get into this very quickly. And y'all, pardon me if you hear me turning pages or dropping my pen or taking a sip of water. I got a little bit of a scratchy throat this morning. And I got a little bit of a sting on my cheek. I'm not sure what got me, but I've got something there. So synthetic fertilizers were designed to provide quick nutrients to plants, but they often contain additives and byproducts that can be dangerous to humans, to beneficial insects, and to the broader ecosystem. So please, please, please stop using this stuff because it's hurting us and it's hurting our insects and our ecosystem. Toxic metals that are found in synthetic fertilizers, especially those derived from industrial waste, that's a lovely thing to put on your garden, or specific mineral sources, contain elevated levels of heavy metals. Good morning, Christy. Welcome in. So glad to see you here. So arsenic, cadmium, and lead occur naturally in source minerals, but also can be introduced when fertilizers are blended with recycled industrial waste like steel mill flue dust. And my computer is still frozen up. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to try backing out and coming back in. So y'all just hang with me for just a moment. If it'll back. Okay, I'm back in here, but I had to take down the camera for some reason. The camera just doesn't want to work today. If you have your phone on or your TV running, YouTube, turn it off. Well, the only thing I have running is the laptop, so nothing else is running. And as a matter of fact, I need to turn my TV off completely, but I don't know what to do. Add me to the stage. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, sorry about that. Oh my gosh. That was horrible. Well, I'm back. I had to switch over to my cell phone for some reason. My camera on my laptop doesn't want to work today, and I may have a little trouble seeing what's going on in chat. So y'all forgive me, and thank you for sticking around so we can get this thing going. So anyway, you want to watch out for what you're putting on your soil because you don't want to kill the ecosystem that God created already. So one of the things that is a heavy metal is dioxins. Uh, some waste-derived fertilizer may be found to contain trace amounts of dioxins, which are highly environmental persistent organic pollutants. So we want to be very, very careful with that. Welcome in Musgrave Family Farm. And I'm writing everybody's names down so I can go and I can put you on my watch later list, because you've come through my live and I don't have the ability to do two things at once this morning. And y'all can see something got me. I don't know if it was a spider bite or if it was a mosquito bite, but it's very swollen. So these metals can accumulate in the soil over time, potentially harming beneficial soil bacteria, earthworms, and young plants. So if you're using those garden sprays, you know, the stuff that and fertilizers and things like that from the stores, stop using them and go completely organic on those. We're killing our microbiome in our soil when we use that. We're sterilizing soil and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we want to be very, very careful with those type of chemicals. Hello, Mark with Corner Clubhouse Cobalt. Got you on my list. Harmful gas emissions. The manufacturing and application of synthetic nitrogen fertilizers release a potent greenhouse gases and respiratory irritants. So we want to be careful. Again, I have lung problems. I don't want to be putting this stuff out there if it's going to hurt me or my environment. One of the gases is ammonia. It's a byproduct of the manufacturing process. Exposure to ammonia can cause severe respiratory distress, inflammation, and shortness of breath in humans. So we want to be very, very careful about that one. Nitrous oxide. When the soil microorganisms, and I'm reading y'all, break down synthetic nitrogen, they release nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas roughly 265 to 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide at trapping heat. Wow. Particulate matter. Agricultural ammonia emissions can combine with vehicle exhaust to create fine particulate matter, which exacerbates respiratory diseases. Chemical additives in garden products. Many retail fertilizers are sold as multi-purpose products that include hazardous chemicals. Herbicides, you know, those weed and feed things that we think is so great because we don't have to weed our garden. They really don't work. Ask me how I know. They combine a fertilizer with weed killers like 2,4-D or glyphosate. Y'all have heard about glyphosate, right? These can be inadvertently digested by your pets, by your children playing on treated lawns. So you don't want to put this stuff on there whatsoever. We don't want to hurt our children. We sure don't want to hurt our pets. Synthetic. Now, this is a word that we're hearing a lot of here lately. We've got synthetic additives in our food, in the grocery stores, and now we're seeing it in our fertilizers that we're purchasing from our local co-ops and stores, thinking we're doing the right thing for our gardens, but we're not. So you want to be really, really careful with these. All-in-one flower or vegetable care products often contain synthetic pesticides that circulate through the entire plant. These can kill any insect that consumes the plant, including the beneficial pollinators like honeybees. So we want to be extremely careful with those. Hey, Troy, welcome in. Let me get you on my list. I will do that, Stephanie. I'll tell Walter hello from you. He doesn't know, excuse me. He doesn't know that we are going live today. I didn't even tell him. Impact on beneficial life and ecosystems. Pollinators, synthetic fertilizers, and associated pesticides can degrade wildlife habitats and directly harm insects that pollinate fruit trees and vegetables. Aquatic life, over 50% of applied nitrogen and phosphorus often washes away into waterways. This causes and I can't, eutrophication. I hope I said that right. Eutrophication, where rapid algae growth consumes all dissolved oxygen, leading to dead zones where fish and other aquatic life can't survive. Amazing. So it just sucks up that oxygen and it kills off everything in the water. They can't survive without oxygen. So we want to make sure we're being extremely, extremely careful with that. And unfortunately, we have a commercial farmer right next to us, and they spray stuff and it washes away. So it could be going into our aquifer. I don't know if any of those chemicals reach the aquifer or not. Our aquifer, I think, is about 80 feet below the level of the earth on top. But I could be ingesting this just by drinking tap water. Can you imagine? And me with all these autoimmune diseases and stuff, it just really doesn't sit well with me. Soil microbes. While some studies show that certain microbial populations may increase with fertilization, excessive use of inorganic salts can change the soil chemical properties and decrease enzymatic activity, potentially leading to losses in organic matter over time. That's why when you see these big commercial farmers out there fertilizing their fields after a crop, because they have literally bleached every good thing out of that soil that they can, because they're using those commercial fertilizers to help the soil to grow another crop. But they have killed off the microbiome that was already in the soil by doing that. Synthetic fertilizers are linked to various forms of cancer, primarily through long-term exposure to heavy metals, industrial byproducts, and integrated additives like herbicides. Need a sip of water, y'all. Thank you for that, Mark. I appreciate that. And y'all make sure you share this out. I know I'm kind of discombobulated today, but just stick with me because we've got a lot of information to cover. And I do my research, y'all. I did this research with Google Gemini to help me pull all the information together that I was looking for. And it really helps me to learn and new things that I need to know about. And I want to share those with you, the viewer. So that's what I'm doing today, as I'm sharing the knowledge that I gleaned through Google Gemini to share with you, so that you'll be knowledgeable and won't waste your money on synthetic fertilizers and these herbicides that we don't really need. Oh goodness, Christy, speaking of spraying, the lady next door has a guy spraying weeds right now. Maybe you need to go talk to her afterwards and tell her that she's killing the bees, the honeybees, and the honeybees are really the baseline of our survival on Earth. When they kill the honeybees, the plants don't get pollinated. We still have other pollinators out there, but we are losing our food because of these herbicides and these weed killers and things like that, because of all the chemicals that goes into it. So cadmium is a group 1 human carcinogen linked to lungs, liver, prostate, breast, kidney, can't read my writing, and pancreas cancers. I was probably trying to write with a dog on my lap yesterday. Arsenic increased cancer risk for breast and oncogenic processes. I'm not sure that that's the right word either, but anyway. Nickel and chromium, both classified as human carcinogens. Lead, classified as a probable human carcinogen. Group 2A lead exposure is positively associated with breast cancer risk. So all of these things are in these fertilizers. Toxic additive and bio-waste products, all-in-one garden products include hazardous chemicals. So we have to be really, really careful about what we're using on our gardens. This is one of the reasons I went to become an organic gardener. And my husband always wants to go out and spray the weeds with chemicals. And I told him, you know, we have alternatives. You can use a 30% vinegar and it will kill weeds. Now, it's still going to do some damage, but it's not as bad as some of this other stuff. Hey, living my best life, Miss Echo. Welcome in. The Kaleidoscope of Happiness. I love the name of your channel. Glyphosate has been in the news recently. There's actually lawsuits going on right now. And just know that this is one of the things that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about. But it's probable carcinogens to humans, 41% increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. My foster dad died from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he worked a side job with weed killers in his lawn care business. And we're pretty sure that's what gave him the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, was the glyphosate in that particular weed killer that he was using. So be extremely aware of that, guys and gals, when you're out there spraying this stuff, that it can actually kill you. And that's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to bring this topic up today, because I personally know someone that died from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma because he used weed killers in his job. It's sad. And we've got farmers out there and people that are just totally oblivious to the knowledge of knowing that these things cause cancer. Dioxins found in some waste-derived fertilizers, specifically TCDD, are highly toxic known human carcinogens associated with lung cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So there's another one that causes the non-Hodgkin lymphoma, but it also causes lung cancer. Unbelievable. And they're just loading this stuff into these fertilizers and weed killers. Nitrates. High levels of nitrates leach into drinking water from fertilizer. Again, I'm telling you, I've got a commercial farmer right next to our property, and he sprays chemicals all the time. We've tried talking to him about it. Our president has come out and said things, or his government officials, about the use of these chemicals on commercial crops because it is getting into our food. Understand this. The stuff you're buying in the grocery stores is not healthy for you, and neither is this spray going onto these commercial crops. We don't know how much of that stuff doesn't wash off and how much of it is actually inside the plant itself. Just be aware that there are things out there that are actually killing us humans. We have a shorter lifespan than my grandparents did. You know, going back 40, 50 years ago, they had longer lifespans than we're seeing today. And a lot of this has to do with the chemicals that they're putting in, the heavy metals and the chemicals and the synthetics that they're putting into our food and putting into our herbicides and our fertilizers. Related to significant health effects through direct cancer links and trace amounts are still being studied. So they're still studying this. They have no idea how much of an impact it's already made. Hormonal and cellular impact. Endocrine disruption. Many of these chemicals in lawn and garden products act as a human disruptory mimicking, a hormone disruptor mimicking and blocking estrogen. Y'all, I can't read my writing. Sorry. This hormonal imbalance can promote the development of hormone receptor positive breast cancer. You wonder why these cancers are so high, and yet we have no idea where it's coming from. And I'm telling you today, a lot of it's coming from this. DNA damage. Did you know your DNA can be damaged? Unbelievable. Exposure to these chemicals can cause oxidative stress and direct DNA damage, which are fundamental drivers of cancer progression. See, I can't read my writing. Progression. Vulnerable populations. Agricultural workers have a higher risk of leukemia, lymphoma, and cancers of the brain, prostate, and ovaries. Children and infants. Children are more susceptible due to their developing immune systems and higher rates of exposure related to body size through skin contact and inhalation. So they could be outside playing and somebody's spraying this stuff, and that spray is a mist and it's going to go wherever the air is going. So don't be outside when they're spraying. Y'all remember those big trucks that come through in the summertime? And the kids are all outside playing and they're spraying for mosquitoes in the big cities. Well, that stuff is harmful to us. And my mother would always say, cover your face and run in the house if you see that truck coming, because that spray is just going everywhere. Just think of when you go to the bathroom and you flush the toilet and you don't put the lid down, and all that bacteria just goes into the air and attaches to your walls and your fixtures. So your bathroom is probably one of the dirtiest places in your house. This is the same thing that's happening. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, do hook up the Bluetooth and a speaker. Immune barrier functions. Immune barrier functions, specifically in the gut and skin, confuses the body's natural defense mechanism. It's a link to autoimmune conditions. These can cause chronic inflammation in humans, which are hallmarks of autoimmune disease. Leaky gut and glyphosate. Hey, John, PA Adventures. Got your name down, my friend? Specifically in the gut and skin, confuse the body's natural defense mechanisms. I know I'm repeating myself. Linked to autoimmune conditions. These can cause chronic inflammation in humans, which are the hallmarks of autoimmune diseases like leaky gut. Glyphosate is linked to leaky gut. Things like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, antibody production, immune confusion from heavy metals. Issues like thyroid are caused by nitrates. Think Hashimoto's. T-cell imbalance and systematic overload. Body's inability to turn off the immune response, leading to chronic flares. So ultimately, we are in a chemical war on the soil and an internal war of autoimmune disease and cancer. Hey, Jersey Love Steph. Well, I hope you do come back and watch it, because I really appreciate everybody that watches. And there's so much good information in here that I wanted to share with everybody. That's why I'm doing a live today. Okay. Got to see where I was at. The residue left from commercially raised foods is a concern. There's often a cocktail of synthetic chemicals and heavy metals that can linger even after washing. So you can't get this stuff off. You know, we've heard about these things that don't come off to fruits and vegetables, you know, and it's a real concern. When plants are grown in soil treated with synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, they can absorb these substances through their roots, so collect them on their surfaces, leading to chronic low-level exposure for the consumer. Well, thank you for coming in, John, and telling me that. Commercial crops are often sprayed multiple times before harvest, and I can attest to that. They will be out here spraying that field all summer long. And we have a barrier, a weed barrier, brush to try to block off a lot of that from coming onto our property, because it ultimately affects me and my organic garden. So I try my best to have a organic garden, but I've got this wind barrier thing going on, hoping to stop some of that spray. Having lupus and autoimmune diseases is not fun. And that's why this little place here on my cheek is just so swollen. It might have been just a mosquito bite, but my body reacts to everything. The residue of these chemicals are frequently detected on produce sold in stores. So they know it's on there, and they're still selling it to us, folks. Autoimmune diseases like Crohn's and celiac disease are caused by a microbiome hit that is killing off beneficial bacteria in our guts. Just think, that same microbiome in the soil goes into your food. You eat the food, it goes into your gut. So they're killing all of that off. And your animals, yeah, exactly. Very sensitive to it. We were not created to take in all the synthetic and chemicals that man has created. God created the perfect balance for our ecosystem. Organically grown fruits and vegetables, organic meats. These are all things that he created. And man has twisted that, y'all. Twisted it and created this thing that is absolutely killing us. Yeah, I don't buy a whole lot of fruits and vegetables from the stores. And even if it says organic, it may have been sprayed after they got it in there. So we really don't know what we're eating. Hey, Jennifer Ocean Homestead, welcome in. I'm going to get your name written down, hon. Jennifer, have you gotten settled into your new home yet? You may not want to go to the grocery store after you hear all I have to say today. The best weapon we have right now is growing our own organic foods as much as possible. Growing organic means bioavailable healing, collecting foods for immediate consumption, organically preserves the nutrients and integrity of our food. Zero residue. You can't wash off synthetic chemicals found in store-bought food, but you can choose to never put those chemicals in your soil in the first place. Saving seeds protects the heritage of our foods. This is why we do seed saving and growing organically and dealing with the weeds in the garden and the bed bugs. I got to go back and try to read this. Oh, I can't do it that way. I got to do it this way. And it's not letting up. Oh no! Where did I go? It's not letting me go up and down on, it's not letting me look at the comments. All right, I can't catch them quick enough. Zero residue. Okay, I already said that. We know that the system is broken. We know that the residues are there, but we aren't victims. We're producers. Every seed you plant is a vote against the lab and a vote for your health. So stay away from the grocery stores, folks. Go find some organically grown vegetables. And when you go to the farmer's market, if you don't grow your own food, ask the vendor specifically, is this organically grown or do you use herbicides and fertilizers on your food that you're growing? And they may not even have the answer because most of the ones that are vendors here don't even grow their own food. They're going to the Amish and buying, or they're going to other farms and buying up the excess vegetables and bringing them the next day to the farmer's market. So it's not even fresh. It's already been sitting for at least 24 hours or longer before they even get it out there to sell. Grow your own food. You know it's fresh. You know how it's grown. And you know exactly what's in the soil. Moving away from synthetic means returning to a closed coop system where you feed the soil, not just the plant. Natural organic fertilizers are your best weapon for your garden. We use composted poultry manure, but you have to let it sit for at least 1 year. You can use bone meal. It's phosphorus. Kelp and seaweed meal are micronutrients and hormones for your plants. Alfalfa meal has trace minerals. A compost tea is liquid gold. Sorry, y'all. You can use composted grass as long as it hasn't been sprayed with those chemicals in water, and it can be strained and used as a liquid fertilizer, but be sure to dilute it before using. You would need a 5-gallon bucket filled 1/3 to 1/2 full with your grass clippings. Fill the bucket with water and leave a 2-inch headspace. If you are on city water, you need to let it sit for 24 hours before using because of the chlorine that they put in the city water. Oh, that's so sweet, Christy. Morning doves like my voice. You want to let it sit 3 days to 2 weeks. Stir it once a day to add oxygen. So you want to get like a good vortex going. And I'm going to give you a warning. It will smell like the swamp. but keep the lid on loosely to keep the mosquitoes and flies out. You're going to dilute it a 1-to-10 ratio, 1 part tea to 10 parts water, and water your plants. It should resemble a weak iced tea or pale apple juice. Use the diluted mix once every 2 weeks as a soil drench. Pour at the base of your plants. So there is a very good homemade organic fertilizer, and it's growing in your front yard. You know, they tell you you can't get nitrogen. You have to buy my product to put nitrogen into the soil. That's absolutely not true. We get nitrogen all kinds of ways, from the animal manures, from our plants. You know, God created it all, and He created one of the best fertilizing systems, and we just need to be able to do that and use what God has created. So use your brain, and don't just take my word for it, but make sure that you are looking for organic additives if you're going to add things that you purchase, and read the back of the labels. Again, as in food, if it's got more than 5 ingredients, you probably want to leave it sitting on that shelf. Herbicide warning: never use clippings from a lawn that has been treated with weed and feed or any other synthetic herbicides. I said that before, but I'm saying it again because I want to get it into your head. Seed warning: if some of your grass has gone to seed, use a fine strainer like an old burlap or cheesecloth to ensure that the grass that you're not planting those seeds into your vegetables, because you don't want grass growing up in your vegetables if you can help it. By creating your own fertilizer tea, you are essentially creating a ferment soup for your soil. Stirring replaces the need for a bubbler, and you are manually introducing oxygen to keep good bacteria alive. Stir it 2 times a day for a minimum of 2 minutes with a long wooden stick or garden stake. Stir it vigorously to create that vortex in there that pulls oxygen from the air into that liquid. Yeah, you can use human urine if you're not on medications. But if you're on medications, you're putting chemicals right back in the soil. So, like me, I take prescription drugs. So I would not use human urine. But if you're completely healthy and you're comfortable with using your own urine in your garden, go for it. Shannon, from the Rooted Homestead, welcome in. So I got you down. And if I miss anybody in here, I do apologize. I'm using my cell phone for this today, so it's kind of hard. I tried to go through my laptop, and it just was not working. So 3 to 5 days of fermenting provides a nitrogen boost. 10 to 14 days will provide a deep soil boost. Keep this covered but breathable. Use an old towel or burlap to secure with a bungee cord. Allows the gases to escape while keeping the insects out. So, don't use that plastic lid. Use some burlap or an old towel or something over it. Here at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, we are keeping it real. I'm a real person. This is a real homestead. We have real autoimmune diseases, and we use real organic gardening methods. In a world of synthetic everything and artificial everything, I talk a lot about avoiding synthetic food and lab-grown labels, but I want to be honest with you. I do use AI as a tool to help me organize outlines, sharpen titles, and maybe help with tags. but the dirt under my fingernails and fighting lupus are very real. I use technology so I have more time to be in the soil. I'm not promoting AI, but I use it to increase my knowledge, to share my self-education with you. I'm not doing this just for the views. I'm doing this to stay healthy. In a world that is artificial everything, I use AI as a tool. But I'm the heart of this channel, and I want to spend my energy wisely. Because of the autoimmune, I have days where I just do not feel good. I have a lot of fatigue, brain fog, just a number of things that goes along with having lupus. And I don't want you just staring at a black screen, which is funny because when I started this, that's what y'all were seeing, or you were seeing me froze. If you value honesty over perfection, hit that like button. We're keeping it real at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. My schedule is Monday and Friday, long form videos, Wednesday podcast. I'll drop at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the third Monday is a live at 11 a.m. You'll also find my content is interactive. That means that there's more information usually in the description box below the video for you to check out, or I may put it in shorts or my community tab. So you want to go check those out as well. Yeah, Chat GPT is a good one too. I use it, but again, I am not letting the AI dictate everything that I'm doing. Usually I'll have my video already done, and then I'll go and I'll give some information to help me flesh out everything that I want to say in the description box, the title. Sometimes I'll get help with a thumbnail if I need it. And I'm learning that I don't have to have a different thumbnail on every single video. This year I'm doing the Resourceful Homestead. That's usually my Monday and Friday videos. So I have one thumbnail that I just change out my picture on. And then I have the Homestead Happenings, which is once a week. So everybody is recognizing my channel. I'm trying to build up to 3,000 subscribers, and I'm almost there. Got a little ways to go, but I've been on here for 4 years, y'all. I've learned a lot of things over the 4 years, and when the AI came out, I was a little curious and a little reluctant at the same time, but I find that it really is helpful, and I can ask questions that has absolutely nothing to do with YouTube or anything else about my channel growth. Well, that's part of YouTube. About the channel growth and where I'm at and why am I plateaued here, things like that, why the views are falling off, all kinds of questions that you can ask, and it helps you build your self-confidence in your channel. So don't ever give up on your channel, folks. I've been doing it for 4 years. I still have not hit that 3,000 mark that we all look for, but I have, a steady stream of videos, a good bank of videos that people can go back and watch. And I built that up over the 4 years. Also, let's see. Don't forget to vote on my off-grid canning kitchen name. I'll go back and I'll pull that up to the top of my community tab after this live. So make sure you vote in that, because Friday at noon Central Standard Time, I'm going to end that, and the name that has the most votes is going to be the name of my building, and the other name will either go with my garden area in the front, or it'll go with the greenhouse that's coming up. But I did have 4 names originally that I wanted to choose from. The other 2 names, I kind of know where I'm going to put them, and they were all women in my family. These names are extremely important to me. As a woman, we draw the strength of all the former people that have been in our lives. Whether we knew them or not, we are building off of what they gave us. So anyway, I think you'll like the two names. It's Tennessee Elmina and Ora Cattern. Tennessee Elmina was my great-grandmother. I did not get to meet her. She died just before I was born, but she was my mother's grandmother. And she is my link to the Nansemond tribe, a Native American tribe here in the United States. And Ora Cattern is my paternal grandmother and that I spent a lot of summers with. And I learned a lot of things from her. And she lived in a log cabin. They had no running water in the home. They did have electricity, the little string in the middle of the room with the light bulb. That was their electricity. They had it put in sometime in the 60s or 70s, I'm not sure. Potbelly stoves in the middle of the room. Big, humongous bedrooms. This was a huge, huge log cabin. I've never seen one like it. Hey, Rita's Roost. How are you doing, my sweetheart? I love Rita's Roost, y'all. And I love her quilting channel, too. And if you haven't seen her, she's also on Facebook. And I watch her a lot on there. I check out her comments and stuff on there. The ultimate goal is farming, is not growing of crops, but the cultivation and perfection of human beings. Masanoba Fukoa. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you, Rita, for stopping in. I appreciate you. The one straw revolution, that's a quote out of that. And I don't like, well, we've been on here almost an hour. In Isaiah 58:11, King James Version, it says, "And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones. And thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water whose waters fail not. May the Lord provide strength to your bones and turn your life into a well-watered garden." Put those devices away. They're draining the life out of us. No pun intended. Put a spade in your hands and go play in the dirt. Plant seeds that will feed your family and not kill you. I am taking prayer requests today, so if you have a prayer request, now is the time to drop it. And I want to thank everyone for coming in, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this later. I want to thank all of our channel members, all of our subscribers, all of the viewers that haven't made that decision to hit that bell. Please think about it and think about joining our channel and helping me to grow and succeed. And I will continue to do what I do every day and try to bring you the best that I possibly can. Now, I do have health issues. I do have a white mass on my frontal lobe. I do stutter. I do stumble over words, but I'm still a human being that is out here trying my best and doing the best that I can. And y'all, if you haven't seen the inside of that little off-grid kitchen, I think you're going to love it. Okay, Rita, we're going to pray for your hubby. Drop his name, and I will definitely do that. And if you don't want to drop his name, just drop an initial. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I had an infectious disease doctor tell me to go roll in the dirt and kiss the dog. I love it. Okay, it's Terry. I'm going to write his name down so I remember to pray for him. When I go out to my little building in the mornings, I take my Bible. I have my Bible out there, And I sit out there and I read a chapter a day. And then I sit down and I pray. And I pray for as long as the Lord leads me to pray. So I'm going to put his name inside my Bible so I remember to pray for him. Hello, Ruby. That's Rushing Wind Mountain. And do me a favor, after this is over with, go back and comment underneath the video, because those comments really do help push the videos out into the algorithms also. And I also will comment back, even if it's a thank you or a heart, to let you know that I have read that comment. I appreciate your comments, and let me know what you think about this. And are you organically gardening, or are you still using those chemicals and trusting what the government and the food industry is throwing at us to put on our plates? I really want to know your thoughts on that. So I'm going to start with a prayer. We're going to close out. I thank you again for your time. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for each person that has come through this chat today, and those that are watching and not in the chat. Lord, we thank you for them as well. And Father, we especially ask you to touch Terry Yancey, touch the surgeon that's going to be doing the surgery on him, and give him complete, full healing in the mighty name of Jesus. We know that you are the great physician and that all of our healing comes from you. We thank you, Lord, for this day, and we thank you for the blessings that you have poured out on us already today. Lead, guide, and direct us in all that we do or say. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much. Be blessed and a blessing. Until next time.